So this is going to be the start of, this is a request to how to melt something, and I thought this was a really good idea. Like I kind of thought of how I was, if I had to do this, this is Brennan Young is doing some really cool stuff in RealFlow right now. I hope he makes a tutorial of it, but he did a object that like kind of like melts away out of particles. Very cool stuff. But how I'm going to do it is I'm going to do it with cloth, and so this is going to be the first. This we can just go rubber. The setup. I'm just going to set up the cloth, and then I'll set up the particles. So I'm going to make the ground a collision object. And the cylinder property 1, and then I'm going to do silk as property 2. So I'm going to go rubber, and then property 2 will be silk. There we go. And then we'll hit OK, and then we'll go, just to keep it organized, melt object. And we got the ground, kill the grid. Let's pick some colors for this. So, shit. I gotta do this. Make some collide a bit easier. And add objects, ground. Let me just double check this. Alright, cool. And if we simulate, ew. Alright, so that was just a straight up simulation, so that's not really working. So I'm going to click on self collision, and I'm going to erase simulation. So this I feel is kind of a good way to melt an object. But the thing is, this isn't how objects melt. They don't just go like blah, So I'm going to turn the subsamples up. I don't know what this, I forget what this does. I'm not exactly a cloth. I'm not exactly a cloth pro here. I got all my tips from John Johnson. So, see here. Just let this run through. I'll pause it. Alright, so this is what I have so far, and that's just cloth hitting the ground. So the way I would melt an object is I'd make a group. Preserve. I would use texture map, go to a gradient ramp, and I see how that's working there, so I'm going to go to the material editor, drop in an instance, flip it to -90, and what do I have here? I hate how this thing doesn't fucking update. It drives me bananas. And just go 0.9. There we go. So that's going from top to bottom, being preserved. So I want to flip it like that. So white is preserved. So I'm going to make on my gradient ramp. This is what I'm going to do. Throw down like that. So white is preserved. Yeah, white's preserved. So, So let's animate the gradient ramp. And let's auto key and just shift these around a little bit, and then auto key, just do like that. How's that gradient ramp look? So just I animated it just a little bit to break it up, and then let's click preserve. So our group is on preserve, and that's what it looks like. So let's go back to cloth, erase frame, and then simulate. So this is what I have so far, and I'm not liking it. Just collapse like that. So I'm gonna add some noise. How's that? Just turn it up a bit bigger scale, and I'm going to. Yeah, I got a message here from Ian. This dude, he's a cool guy. Ian Farnsworth is on my site. You should check it out. Yeah, dude, you're on my training video, biatch. So now with this, and this was Ian's little message, what he'd like to share. Here we go. There we go. See, endorsement. Awesome. So this is with the noise. It's a lot more broken up. So it just like kind of crumbles like that. So I think that's about good. I think what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna tweak it so it's like melting from the side. I don't really like what the fuck? Wow, look at that. I'm stuck on my. Oh, there we go. Whew, phew. Thought I lost this file, and that's a good cue to save. And so here's kind of just a bit more tweaked of a result, and I'm gonna put a turbo smooth on it, and maybe a couple iterations. So I added this swipe on the side, so it knocks out like kind of like an edge collapses. So you know you can kind of get some pretty decent results on it. So the next step will be is I'm just gonna try to wing it. I'm gonna try like inverting this map. Um, uh, Inverting this map and emitting particles off it. So I'm going to copy this over here, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I invert it, then I have, oh shit, swipe down, swipe down. I want to copy it. So with this map, and if it's inverted, that white part will emit particles, and then we'll try sticking them to the surface, and having them follow down. This is probably going to result in a disaster, but you know, worst case scenario, you take it into real flow. But I'm just going to see if I can get it going with TP. You know, maybe even like adding a fragment operator in there, and just like having stuff flake off. So thanks for watching, guys, and peace.